January 23rd, 2024, Board of Public Works and Safety to order. Lindsay, any adjustments to the agenda?
No.
No
Oh, yes,
Nope.
there is. I'm sorry, we do have one addition for, let me pull up the item here.
Update from Jordan on the trash.
Ah, the,
And the
yes,
BOT.
Jordan
Yes.
gets to talk trash this morning.
Just an update, so.
Just an update, okay. Well, we'll save that to the end. We'll move forward with the consent agenda. I believe we were all here at the last meeting, were we not?
Yes.
So is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion.
Motion by Jeff, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jason, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Moving on to our resolutions, we have a request to approve a professional services agreement with A&F Engineering. Mackie?
Good morning, Hatem Mekki, Director of Engineering, City of Fishers, and before you is the professional services agreement with A&F Engineering. We have retained A&F Engineering for our various engineering services throughout the city. They've helped a lot of different departments, engineering, public works, community development, and the admin department as well. And this is the ongoing contract with them for this year.
Any questions for Hatem on this?
Has it gone up or?
It has.
Flat?
Yep.
It seems going up.
I have to check the percentages, but it just, everything has been going up lately, so it's
Yeah.
just reflects the market that we're in.
Looked like maybe 20%. Okay.
We've accounted for that
Okay.
jump in our budget for this
Okay.
year. Yep.
Sounds good.
If there are no other or questions, is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Motion by Jason, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jeff, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is request to approve an agreement between the city and Kreider and Kreider.
Again, Hatem Mekki, City of Fishers Engineering. Before you is the agreement between the city and Kreider. This is for the drainage work along USA Parkway and I-69. With DPW, we acknowledge that there's some areas along USA Parkway that required some grading and some drainage adjustments. We've talked with NDOT and we got into an agreement with them for a 50% financial participation with the city. We've solicited the quotes with 3 contractors, and we came back with Kreider with that being the lowest responsible bidder. And happy to answer any questions.
And this is a cost split?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And if you notice, they've finished the southern half of the work, and they're just about to start again with the north half.
So is the 110K the split amount or is it?
No, 110 is the total amount.
Pre-split,
The split would
okay.
be 55 each.
Post is 55. Okay.
Yep.
The rationale for us being a participant in this, even though it's NDOT right away, is that
The
they're
south
claiming
part,
that
we had removed some trees and some items that were actually holding the grades
Soil together.
together.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay, is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Motion by Jeff, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jason, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 7 is request to approve provider agreements, Pro Health. Laura.
Good morning,
Good
Laura
morning.
Rapp, Deputy Director of Finance and Operations for the Health Department. Before you is a provider agreement with Pro Health. This agreement, you've seen a couple other ones that came before the board the end of the year with Anthem and Aetna. This is another similar agreement that will allow us to collect insurance information and bill for that information, private insurance.
How many of these are you anticipating?
11.
11, okay,
Yeah.
you're on your third.
And this is our third, and there's a fourth one on the agenda today too.
So this is a tremendous amount of work that Laura's taking under her wing, I guess you could say, to try to get us the opportunity to bill insurance for a variety of health care services to our public health department. So each one has different rules, specifications, and
Yeah.
everything else,
yes,
right?
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
So I appreciate your work on this. Do you guys have any questions for Laura?
No.
See, is this is this an annual, or will this be,
I believe most of them are every 3 years.
that's a win?
Yeah.
Yeah. So is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Jason, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jeff, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Laura.
Sure.
Next is request to accept trail dedication and approved trail maintenance agreement, Avalon subdivision. Rich?
Morning, Rich Bassett, Engineering Department, Asset Manager. Before you is a request to approve both a dedication and a maintenance agreement. 2 separate things for the same subdivision. Generally, there's a Mud Creek Trail that runs east to west along the northern edge of the subdivision. That is a dedication, which was the original intent of the developer when the neighborhood was built. So that dedicates that trail over to the city itself. The second thing is a maintenance agreement with a north-south component that runs through a Duke easement. It's essentially an extension of the Geist Greenway, which was recently completed. And that simply allows the public use and then the city maintenance and of that trail for the public to use that going forward.
This is a great opportunity to extend our Geist Greenway all the way up to 136th Street, basically.
Yeah, give or
Close
take.
to it, yeah. Any questions for Rich?
I didn't see the exhibit that had the map. Is it right off, you can see it off Oleo Road? Is that the one I'm thinking of?
Correct. So
To
there's
the east?
they're actually I think they were ended up being combined with the two agreements or with the dedication of the agreement. There's a
Okay.
map at the end, so you can see the east-west basically connects from Oleo to Southeastern for the
Yeah, okay.
dedication, and then the north-south component goes from Oleo 126th Street rather, and then T connects into that dedicated trail. So they are all contiguous.
Is there any parking for non-Avalon, folks?
No, this does not contemplate a trailhead of any kind.
Okay.
And that's something we'll need to look at long-term, because there's nothing on the Geist Greenway today, other than Geist Park, that would be a quote-unquote trailhead that I can think of. That'd be the only place I could think that there's actually parking for someone that wanted to. And that connection won't be done until the bridge is done, obviously, but we don't have another trailhead anywhere.
Gotcha. Is there access like off the sidewalk on Oleo?
Yes,
I
so.
thought I saw that, okay.
So on Oleo Road itself, and then the trail ends up, as I said, it eventually connects over to Southeastern Parkway as well.
Yeah,
And then on 126th Street, where we have that crossing of the Geist Greenway, you can connect there as
okay.
well.
So, people can ride bikes, whatever.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Right now, it's kind of really a neighborhood-centric trail, but as
Yeah.
it starts to gain notoriety, because it really is a pretty great scenic trail, we will need to think about access for people who want to drive over and then use the trail.
Gotcha.
Is there a motion to approve?
Motion?
Motion by Jason, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jeff, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we have a request to approve a provider agreement with MDY. I would imagine this is a rinse and repeat. So are there any
Correct.
questions for Laura on this contract? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Motion by Jeff, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jason, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Laura.
Thanks.
We'll try to put those together next time. Next is a request to approve a change order number 1 between Fishers and Guardian Utilities for 146th Street and Allisonville Road Force Main.
Hatem Meki, Director of Engineering, and before you is a change order between Fishers and Guardian Utilities. Guardian Utilities is the contractor up on 146 and Allisonville project. They are the ones building our sanitary, relocation of building some of our sanitary assets up there. This is a change order on the upper end where they are changing the depth of the main. They're lowering it a little bit to accommodate the project over there. And this change is approximately 30 grand, and this is part of the reimbursement that we get for that project from Hamilton County.
So does our reimbursement agreement then have to change with the county, or does it just cover any change orders?
I think it does cover, this is just the submittal of those changes to Hamilton County,
Okay,
and then
then
we
they'll-
get reimbursed.
Okay, gotcha. Any additional questions for Meki? Seeing none, is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Jason, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jeff, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is a request to approve change order number 1 between,
No, next one down.
oops, sorry, I skipped one, didn't I?
Sorry.
Request to approve second amendment to an agreement between Fishers and Butler Firm for 146th Street and Allisonville Road Force Main.
Yep, again, Hatem Meki, City of Fishers Engineering. This is kind of attached to that first one. This is just the inspection services that we have with BFS on that job. And again, this is part of the reimbursement
Gotcha.
from Hamilton County.
Any questions? Seeing none, is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Jeff, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jason, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is a request to approve a change order number 1 between Fishers and Monroe LLC for Rosanna Village Low Pressure Sewer System.
Hatem Meki, City of Fishers Engineering. This is a change order between Fishers and Monroe. This is in the Rosanna Village sanitary low-pressure sewer system. This is a change order for adding 2 homes to the project and removing 1. That 1 home was just demolished. So this addition is approximately 11,600.
So is this home by home kind of scenario?
I believe so. Was this something that they added?
So not every single homeowner out there signed on.
Okay.
What happened is, once they saw things happening, suddenly we had people jump in.
Gotcha.
And fortunately, IFA had approved enough that we had a little bit of wiggle room.
Okay. So would you anticipate any more of these coming forward, or do you think you're,
I think at this point, we're done.
Okay.
So,
gotcha. Any additional questions?
No.
Seeing none, is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Jason, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jeff, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. And then the next one, I assume, is the inspection or design.
This is the design, ASI design. They have an additional 9 permanent easement description for the project, and this covers the pipe along 101st Street. And these expenditures, along with the other one, is within that boundaries from the IFA.
Questions? Seeing none, is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Jason, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jeff, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Mecky. Next is request to approve professional and operating agreement with the Indianapolis Art Center. Ashley, Mark?
Good morning, Ashley Elrod, Community and Public Relations Director. Also here is Mark Williams, Executive Director with the Indianapolis Art Center. Before you is a request to approve a professional or an operating agreement and professional services agreement for the operations of the Fishers Art Center, which will take over the first floor of the new City Hall. What we have contracted with them is full operations and scheduling of all of the art classes, content within the galleries, and coordination with local community groups as well. Mark is here if you have any questions specifically for him, or otherwise I can answer any
Can
questions you
you
might have.
just roughly outline what the terms of the agreement are?
Yes, so we have basically in exchange for operating the art center, City of Fishers provides the space for free. Also up to $75,000 in operating or in launching startup costs. And then from there, once we get to a profit share component, it's 30% of any profit earned from classes or events is then created into a new account that will then go to fund future arts efforts here in Fishers. There is a profit share for sponsorship as well and naming rights, that kind of thing. All things that are still to come as we get our bearings as it opens.
Will there be a collaboration between you guys and the Parks Department, for activities and things?
Yeah, do you want to talk about your existing partnership with
Yeah,
the
we
Parks Department?
Currently have a partnership where
Okay.
we've been running summer camps up
Yeah.
at Spoke in partnership with the parks, and that'll continue.
Great.
Other questions?
No, I think it's great.
We're really excited to leverage Mark and his organization's capabilities. The idea of us having to do this from scratch and build out a team would be not insurmountable, but certainly not probably the wisest decision. They have, over 100 years?
90 years. this
90
year.
years of experience. So those are a lot of lessons learned that we can bring to bear for our community and take a giant leap forward, I think, in providing arts here in our community. So we're excited to every day walk into City Hall and have kind of a vibrant first floor with lots of people pursuing their passions in the arts. So timeline for your opening is what?
As soon as the building opens, we're planning and registering right now for summer camps, so we'll
Oh, nice.
activate those studios beginning in June.
Great.
And we're actively coordinating, just had a meeting yesterday with Mark's staff about opening events. So we're gonna really launch with an open house during Spark Fishers Week. And so the Indianapolis Art Center and it has been really planning a lot of really great engagement opportunities for the community to just come in and experience art during that week. But leading up to it, we'll have a lot of kind of drop-in things that people can experience as well.
I'm gonna be unveiling my portrait of Elliot Holgren,
Oh.
Deputy Mayor.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
We can't wait.
He's got the best
Can't
hair.
Followed by your dance performance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Jay.
interpretive dance.
Yes.
About
Absolutely.
the current state of political affairs in America.
Oh my,
Yeah.
that could get interesting.
So will my dance. All right.
And the target demographic age, is it like 3,
Everyone.
5 to 90?
3 to 100.
Yeah, or 90 years in honor of your.
And kind of
great.
just to build on that, you know, throughout our discussions with this agreement, we've been very intentional about ensuring that this place really is a location and a place and a home for people of all art abilities, from just beginner and like Scott,
Yeah, right.
all the way to, you know, the most accomplished artist. And that's something that at their Broad Ripple campus, the Indianapolis Art Center has already accomplished, and does a really fantastic job with community outreach, which we're also really excited to bring up here in Fishers.
So no one will laugh at my stick figures.
No, you'll be fine.
Never,
There's a home,
never.
there's a home for you, Jason.
Slap some paint on it, it's
That's
beautiful.
that's the 101 course. We've been, and this breaks a record for the longest discussion about an agreement. And I've negotiated large economic development agreements that have not taken as long as this agreement, so.
That
this
is true.
This is a momentous occasion to approve this. I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve this agreement. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jeff. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Congratulations,
Thank
Mark.
you.
Our final item of the day, and no small item either, a resolution approving the build, operate, transfer agreement for the City of Fishers Community Center. Jake has a tie on, so that tells you tells
Bringing
you how,
my best today,
tells you how
yes.
big the contract is.
Good morning, yeah, Jake Reardon McSorley, Director of Recreation and Wellness for the City of Fishers, and joined here by me is our Hagerman team as well. And so if you remember, on December 12th, we actually presented a BOT for your approval, and it was approved. Today, after some strategic conversation with our financing partner, Raymond James, we're excited to bring a adjusted, restated BOT, and the only changes in this agreement are specifically around language that will result in favorable financing for the City of Fishers. Specifically, all the changes are finance related based on securing tax exempt financing that should be significant savings for the City of Fishers. The summary, and I'd be more than happy to take a stab at answering any questions I can, although it did involve 4 lawyers discussing for about 6 weeks, so I don't even play a lawyer on TV. I'm not 100% sure I can answer detailed questions, but I'll do my best. The language now has a mechanism to secure tax exempt financing. There's no change to our interest rate or our payment obligations. And as a reminder, we were really excited. We have I think, a very favorable 5.1% interest rate. That's comparable to about 8% in the market when we shopped it around. Our origination fee is also very competitive, about 0.25%, and that's about half what we were seeing in the market. So good
Jake,
terms.
Can you remind us what our not to exceed amount is for the BOT, and then just roughly what we're getting in return for that?
Absolutely. So in June, City Council approved our budget of $60 million, and that is for purchase of land and construction of the community center. Our BOT calls for a budget of $61 million. The difference would be that also includes, in addition to purchase of land, construction of community center, it includes a significant improvement of the intersection of 121st and Hoosier Road. We are seeking, in full disclosure, financing in the number of $62 million, just to ensure that we have everything we need for any potential costs, but do anticipate it being about exactly a $61 million budget.
So you mentioned savings on the tax exempt status. Can you explain what that savings is?
Well,
Or would have been, or
great
would be?
question that I have been texting and emailing with Jennifer Messer,
Yep.
one of our city attorneys, and she's working on getting that number.
Well, just in
It'll be-
general, tax exempt status, when you sell bonds, because you don't have to pay taxes on the income that you generate from it, usually makes those interest rates more competitive than, say, taxable bonds. There were some questions on the structure on how we procure this, so build, operate, transfer agreement, as well as some of the activities that we're going to have going on in that building, whether or not they would pass the test, the federal test or the tax code test, has to be tax exempt. And so we had to work through structuring it in a way that would allow for it to be designated tax exempt in order for us to get a better interest rate long term. That can be anywhere between, 0.2%, 0.3%, 0.4%, even up to a percentage point difference. But when you're talking about $60 million,
Yeah.
not an insignificant
No, it's-
amount of money. So it was worth the 4 or 5 weeks of work by lawyers to figure that out, so that we can, you know.
So, okay, so this is the educational point.
Yeah.
So not every project the city does is tax, by default isn't tax exempt because.
You have to pass what's called like a private use test. And so, for instance, in the arena that we financed, there are people that are making money off of what we're doing, you know,
Sure,
so
right.
you have private entities using that public asset for a private use. And so there's a certain amount of income that's generated in a year there, that is what they would call like private use. You look at that in proportionality to what else is going on there, and then you have to come up with your like bond ratio. So, our arena has, I don't know, Elliot, $150 million that's tax exempt, but then there's 20 or 30 million that's taxable.
Got it.
And so it's,
Okay.
you have 2 different sets of interest rates that you're having to pay on.
Okay.
So the savings is more implied since it's,
The savings, we'll receive the
Yeah.
savings over a period of years in the
Right.
sense that we're getting a lower interest rate.
right.
Well said.
Any additional questions for
No.
Jake? Opening
Yeah,
date,
timeline. What
opening
are we-
date.
yeah, what's the
What are you gonna
timeline?
take us right now,
October-
today on the record?
Yeah.
Record this, guys.
Yeah, it's in the BOT.
Oh, Hagerman, yeah, here we go.
October 20th, 2025, unless we can beat that number. and get
October
ahead of the
20th.
schedule.
The 25?
That's a
25.
very specific.
Yeah.
I feel like Hagerman's
Not that we're
gave
gonna count the
themselves,
days down or anything, guys. but-
yeah, they gave themselves some weather days there evidently. All right,
I'm ready to put my toe in the pool.
yep,
Yes.
absolutely. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Jason, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jeff, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries,
you.
congratulations. Jake, you just won yourself a whole lot of work. Any addition, we have one
Yes.
additional item. We have Jordan Alexander, Chief of Staff, is here to talk trash today.
Yes, everyone's favorite conversation. So, no, I just want to give you guys an update on the work session we did with council last Tuesday and discuss next steps for this group. So, I don't know how familiar you all are with the trash conversation, but just a little background. So, really, over the last couple years, the city has received increasing complaints on trash service, trash cost. That's attributed to a variety of issues, but you guys are probably familiar with the Raise acquisition by Waste Management, a lot of Raise customers here in Fishers, so we saw an uptick in complaints there. As some of those started coming to council through public comment, administration said, okay, we'll take a look at this and decide if there is a better path forward to alleviate some of these issues for residents. So, first step in all of that, we want to put a public survey back out. So we hadn't put a trash survey out since 2013, which was the last time we looked at some of these issues. And I'll share all those survey results with you guys. I'm sure you're interested. But essentially from that, what we found was a lot of what we had been hearing anecdotally was supported by the survey. And we had a great response rate on the survey as well. Did a public survey in addition to an HOA survey. In that survey, we didn't really ask anything whether, you know, residents would be interested in a single trash contract citywide. It was more so just to get an idea of like, okay, what's the current landscape? What are people paying? What services are they using when it comes to trash? So in the work session, we also kind of compared that to other municipalities here in Hamilton County. I will say statewide, Fishers is in the minority in terms of municipalities that do not have a singular contract throughout the city. In Hamilton County, we're the only city that does not have a singular contract and does the subscription-based model for residents instead. So when compared to the rest of those municipalities, the prices that we were paying per that survey, or what we found through that, were comparatively higher than the negotiated rates through those other municipalities. So when considering what we found there, some of the other research we did, and then just really the general climate in the trash sector right now and how it's very unpredictable in terms of costs, council did want to go ahead and move forward with issuing an RFP just to see what response we get back. Right now, we don't know what we don't know. Obviously, we've done a lot of research. Carmel just recently upped their contract with with Republic. So we have an idea there on like what the going rate for some of these services would be. But again, we don't have anything to really respond to yet. So with that, and again, I'll send you guys the timeline that I had put together. But the RFP process and the contracting portion of all of this would live with Board of Public Works. council would come into play, just on the ordinance side. So amending our current trash ordinance to allow for the singular trash contractor, and then they would also adopt whatever rates we set in place there. On the timeline, I was pretty conservative, saying that really the majority of this year would go toward that RFP process, reviewing responses, getting the ordinance in place, and then really not looking until Q1 of 2025 for like actually mobilizing services. So I mentioned to council, you know, the last thing we would want to do is to have a start date that's too early and you have whatever contractor it is scrambling, and then you're in a waste management situation where assets aren't ready and all of that. So yeah, so that is the plan for it. I would like to bring an initial RFP to you all like in the next 30 days or so, just to approve that, and then we'd go ahead and put out a notice of an intent to issue that RFP. But just wanted to give you all an update of what will be coming your way
It would be
shortly.
my intent to have like a public hearing here, so when we get the results, we would have a public hearing that would allow people to come forward and share their concerns. I will share with you at the council meeting, this last week, a gentleman came up to me who was paying, he showed us the bill, he was paying $630 a quarter for a residential trash.
You kidding me?
$630. So.
That's outrageous.
Yes.
A roll-off container?
Yeah.
I mean, geez.
So
Just
it's.
for one container,
Yeah, I mean, just
recycling
one
container,
regular.
yeah.
One can. So there's an opportunity here to save Fisher's residents a lot of money, I believe.
Wow.
But we'll go through the process, and then I think this is an appropriate forum for people to come in and share their thoughts about.
Might need a bigger room for that one.
Might need a bigger room, yeah. Maybe, if it's a different time frame though. I will tell you the survey, if it shows, if it's demonstrable of interest, there were over 2,100 people filled out the.
2,500 actually,
people
yeah.
filled out the survey. That's a significant number.
Yeah, and then we had like
individuals.
90% of HOAs fill out the HOA survey
Wow.
as well,
Nice.
so.
To get anyone to fill out a survey, that's, I mean, Ashley, we do a lot of surveys, and that's a pretty significant.
Yeah, and I've received already multiple emails from HOAs following that work session saying we are absolutely in support of this. So
Yeah.
I think the appetite has changed since the last time that we did this in
Yeah, 'cause
2013.
I remember the last one.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Quite
Yeah.
contentious.
They accused me of being involved with the mob, I
Yes,
think, or something
right,
like
yeah.
that, yeah.
The trash
So,
mob?
Yeah, the trash mob. All right, thank you, Jordan.
Yep.
If there are no other items, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion adjourned.
Motion by Jeff, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jason, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.